We're back.
We're so back. I have missed this.
2 weeks off, but it's felt like longer than that for us because we recorded like a couple and then didn't record. And so now it's probably been like
and just so much life has happened
since we recorded.
Yeah, it's been so much life has happened since last time we sat down to record a podcast episode. So yeah, buddy. But we back.
Yeah, and this episode is all the life updates that happened while we were gone.
Yo, let's talk about it.
Kind of a lot happened.
I have such a funny story.
I'm getting like scared that no, it's all good.
Okay.
I don't know. Just too many times things have gone wrong that I'm like, is it recording?
How many times have we done chunks of an episode or a whole episode and then realized it's not recording?
Only like once. Oh, but the funny thing is, okay, so last week we were going to have an episode and then I drove all the way to your house.
Yep.
And
I don't live super close.
Friday morning.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a 30-minute drive. And I was like, okay, I've got my camera. I've got all the mics. I've got all the stuff. I made sure I had batteries, cards, everything. I was like, I'm set. Got all the way there, unpacking everything, cameras on the tripod, everything's set. And I forgot the Zoom that the mics plug into to actually record the audio. So we said, okay, guess we won't have an episode this week.
And that's all she wrote.
She wrote nothing.
She wrote nothing.
Yeah.
And then, so then we just been stuck in this. This is so random and off topic, but last night, we were playing games with the boys after youth. And then again this morning, it happened to come up. And I feel like you will know this reference immediately, but it came up organically in both conversations. So it's a movie quote. You just got to know who says it and in what movie.
Okay.
I like you. I like you a lot.
That's like a very famous quote, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But I actually don't know if I know the origin. Like, have I seen this movie for sure?
I can't say you've seen it for sure, but I feel like...
Is it Monty Python and the Holy Grail or whatever?
No,
Count of Monte Cristo or whatever?
It's like dumb funny.
It
so,
is?
Yeah, it's dumb
Is it
funny.
Dumb and Dumber?
Yes.
Okay, I have seen Dumb and Dumber, but I didn't actually know that was from that.
Yeah, it's Lloyd Christmas.
Did,
Jim Carrey.
I don't know if I for sure did.
I like you a lot. I'm sure I'm not getting the perfect intonation of his voice, but yeah. But I did that, and last night Cole looked at me and he was like, "Dumb and Dumber," and I was like,
"Wow,
bro,
good job, Cole."
I know. And then today at
he
work,
doesn't even like movies.
I know the guy turns the movie off after 3 minutes of watching. He's like, "I'm bored. This isn't even good." Yeah, you know what?
Hey, I will give you crap for that one.
Yeah,
but Cole is he's a listener, so I can't. Yeah, I can't give him crap.
We gotta poke some fun at him.
Yeah.
But then also today I was talking with Carol at work and somehow it came up. I said, I like it. We were talking about some branding stuff. I said, I like it. I like it a lot. I said, do you know what that's from? She goes, Jim Carrey, Dumb and Dumber. I said, come on, Carol. Come on, Carol.
It always feels good when someone knows the quote.
I know. And I also felt like that means that I did a good job of impersonating.
Yeah.
Especially someone like Jim Carrey. That's not easy.
Yeah. He's very animated. We need to do a
Hollywood.
name that quote episode.
Yeah.
And try and pull out some more obscure ones. Because like the two of us kind of, I feel like it's going to be hard to find ones that you don't know that I don't know.
Correct. Because we've grown up watching so much of the same things.
Speaking of, I just showed Caden Pink Panther. He had never seen that.
Man, what a quotable movie.
I basically quoted the entire movie. Like even the really like obscure, like it wasn't meant to be like a line that was really repeated. It's just like straight dialogue. I'm like like mouthing all the words.
That's so good.
He hasn't told me that he finds that annoying yet. So I'm just going to keep going until he's like, can you please?
It's like
he hasn't said anything.
It's like bound to happen someday.
Oh, I'm sure.
But then
I do it way too often.
At the same time, like if he's not going to say anything about it, then you just keep
like,
rolling.
Sometimes because our dad hates when I do that. And I think at one point, some movie Kate and I were watching, I did say like, oh, my dad hates when I do this. And just like waited to see. And he didn't say anything. So I was like, must not bother you. I guess I'll keep going.
Cast the vibe check on that one.
Yeah.
That's legit.
For real.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
He just stayed quiet. He just said, it's a trap. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, either he knew or he didn't think anything of it because he isn't annoyed.
Friggin' hilarious.
Yeah,
but yeah, so life updates, eh? Oh,
yeah.
Should we do a song of the week first?
Yeah, let's do our song of the week.
All
I
right.
have mine.
Go ahead.
My song of the week came up today. I actually sent it to you. And then I decided it was going to be my song of the week.
Sick.
Because it's a song Declan McKenna's featured on that I have yet to hear somehow. And it's called, oh my gosh, I forgot the name.
Last day of the week.
My song of the week if I don't remember what it's called.
Last date of the week.
No, it is something with an L.
It
just asked me if I wanted to join your jam. Late to the Party.
Late to the Party.
By
I know it started with an L.
Gartland.
Nice.
Featuring Declan McKenna.
I will be listening to it as soon as I leave here.
It's fun. It's not like the usual vibe I feel like you have.
Yeah.
I feel like I say that about every single one of my songs of the week. But
then all your songs of the week are vibes, and I like the songs, and I usually add them to playlists.
Well, that's great. I think you'll like this one too. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Declan
Don't sell me
McKenna
down the river.
in 3 weeks from today.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, well, the reason I'm not going is my life update. So.
Well, yeah. But I almost saw him this time last year. I had tickets.
Where?
In Sacramento. And then Car and I both just felt like for some reason we shouldn't go. I don't know. Something felt off about it.
Day of.
Which I usually don't feel that way about things.
You're saying day of.
I think it was either the day of or the day before.
You already bought tickets though.
I think it was like the day before Halloween or the day of Halloween or something like that.
Lame.
And we were like, why do I feel like this isn't a good idea? And it was like, Sacramento was like 2 hours from Redding. It would have been really late. Just a bunch of factors. So we just didn't end up going. And tickets were really cheap. We didn't pay very much for them. Now they're a little more expensive because he's a little bit more popular. But he's touring with Sabrina Carpenter later this year or something too. Which is like, he's actually popping off for real.
No, he is popping, and he deserves it. His music is crazy.
Yeah, he's amazing. So, seeing him in a few weeks, which is why that's part of my song of the week. Anyway, what's your song of the week?
I'm so sad I'm not seeing him. He's just he is literally a legend. And how old is he?
25? I can't
25?
remember, but I feel like he's my age.
25, 26?
Something
24.
like that. He started getting big at like 16, 17, which is crazy.
I know. He's already been on the scene for so long. I do feel like it's gotten to the point where when you say his name, like it's getting to the point where it's 50-50 on whether someone's heard of him or not. And
it's like they know Brazil or they've never heard of him.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't know the name Declan McKenna, but if they heard the song Brazil, they'd be like, oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, my song of the week.
You've been stewing on this one.
Let me tell you, there's two artists. There's 3 artists in the world that I just love more than everyone else, and it will always be this way till the day that I die. And it's the Beatles, it's John Bellion, and it's P.O.D. And it doesn't matter where I am, when I am, or how I am. I want to hear their music, at all times. And so John Bellion hasn't released his own music, really. I mean, that's kind of true, and it's kind of not true because he's come out with stuff where he's been featured on stuff and he's written stuff for other artists. He's worked on things and whatnot, but he hasn't released his own music in 6 years, and it's this whole thing. And I think I've talked about it before, the George Janko podcast.
Because when Lauren's song was your song of the week, and you talked about it then.
Yes. Yep. And so I mean, you should go watch, anyone listening to this, you should go watch the George Janko podcast interview with John Bellion that he did a couple months ago or whatever it was. It's literally phenomenal. And John Bellion shares something at the very end of the podcast that is like one of the most monumental, beautiful, like God revelations of parenting I've ever heard. Wow. It was so good.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so John Bellion released the song Kid Again just on
the
Friday.
Branding for it was so crazy good.
The marketing package,
genius marketing. Some of the most genius marketing I think I've ever seen. I feel like people will be copying what he did now for years.
Yeah, I mean that's literally all he's done his whole career is just keep setting standards. And I think I love people. I just tend to gravitate towards people that pave the way for things, and that they're the first person to kind of pioneer something. And even though some people may take those ideas and run with them and make them even better someday. Yeah. And that's totally fine. I just think I gravitate towards those people. So, I mean, the Beatles, John Bellion, and P.O.D., they all were trailblazers with music in their own ways.
All very different too.
Yeah. And it's I think that's part of why I gravitate towards listening to them. But Kid Again is fire. It's a great song. Song of the week, baby.
Nice.
Let's
Also,
go.
I don't think we said this prior or like after we started recording, but Seth has been wanting to wear headphones in an episode.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have them. So we're wearing headphones in this episode.
Bada bing, bada boom. And I will say this, like normally, we don't have headphones on, so I'm hearing my voice, I'm hearing your voice just the way that I always hear them. But to have headphones on, I feel like
really
now
amplifies.
I'm hearing.
It's like we're listening to the podcast.
Yes, I do feel that way. I'm listening to the podcast as I'm doing the podcast live.
Wow.
What?
What?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just kidding. I actually do love it.
It's pretty great. Maybe we'll just be headphone people from now on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me whether we do or don't. But also, if we don't, I'm gonna riot.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can riot.
Life updates?
Yeah. Okay, I have like 2 smaller life updates before we get into like our real life updates
Okay.
that just are important to me, even though they're not that important.
I want to know.
Okay, good. One of them you're gonna roll your eyes. The other one you will like.
Okay.
Okay, first roll the eyes one.
Oh my
Witches
gosh.
Brew Alani.
Oh my gosh.
Pay for us to do our podcast. Because Kaden and I love this. We wait all year for this flavor to come around. And we found them in a random gas station in Kentucky on the way back from Alabama in the end of August. So like middle of nowhere, not a nice gas station, and they were stocked. And we bought 4.
Like
And then-
packages or 4 cans?
Cans.
Oh, that's so sad.
Well, I don't want to spend like $30.
Do you like it or do you not like
well,
it?
hold on.
Okay.
Because then Bella and I, our friend, happened to be in a different city. Like it was a Target that's in a nicer area, like 30 minutes away from here. And they had them. And I only bought 1. Actually, maybe I bought 2. And then that was like a few weeks ago now, maybe a month ago now. And since then, I have been looking at every gas station, every Meijer, every Walmart, every Target. Zip. Nada. There's nothing.
Because they sell out or because these places don't stock
Either
it?
they sell out or they don't stock it.
Okay, so you don't know. I gave you 2 options and you said it's one of the 2 options.
Yeah. Yes.
And
But-
credits, bro. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
Sorry.
And then yesterday,
Yeah.
Kaden and I ran to Aldi to get ingredients for a soup that we made, which, by the way,
wow, you weren't expecting.
was delicious.
Wow.
And of all places, I would never have thought
Yeah,
that
actually.
Aldi would have been on my radar for this.
Agreed.
But they we're just like happened to go through the fall aisle right before we checked out. And they've got like all their like fall coffees and fall candles and fall drinks and snacks and everything. And I gasped out loud in the Aldi aisle. I went, I think I
That's
grabbed Caden's arm. Like I was like, and he's like, what? And he's like, oh my gosh. And we bought a bunch. So
How many cans did you buy?
4.
That's it?
But now we know they're stocked at Aldi, so we can just go back and get
the
them.
one thing about Aldi is you just never know what's going to be there time to time.
That is true.
But yeah.
We'll probably go back pretty soon. But
yeah.
I try not to drink them very much because like they're not good for me. But that one specifically, I'll make an exception because it tastes so good. If you don't know what it tastes like a caramel apple green, like the green caramel apple suckers.
Interesting.
It tastes exactly like that. It's
And
so
they think
good.
that's what witches' brews taste like?
I mean, I don't condone witches, but like their brew is pretty good, so it's fine. But anyway, that's one of the updates.
Nice.
The other update is a new season of Survivor started.
Let's go.
And there's some whack people on this season.
Wacky.
Goof
whack?
balls.
Oh, but yeah, wacky and whack.
Yeah, there's some people that I'm like, why haven't you gone home? And
I
why did
know.
you go home? Because I liked you.
Who did you like?
Well, it was last night's episode, so I'm not going to say.
Oh, right. Thank you. Who? Oh, no, a good person went
Oh,
home?
sorry.
That's so sad.
No.
Dang it.
Person that I actually really liked. Like one of the only level-headed people in the game at this point.
Okay,
I was
stop
like,
talking. You're giving away
ugh,
too much.
Sorry. Anyway.
No, but that does suck. Now, going back a week, TK going home.
Yeah,
was
spoiler if you're
so-
not caught up on Survivor.
Oh, yeah, sorry, but oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to week 2 of this
Ugh,
season,
that
TK
was
going home
crazy.
was amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
That-
He was a doozy.
And here's the thing. I think you get in that
Probably a great
environment.
person, but
Yeah, I think you get in that environment and you're just playing the game and you just like, you start getting a rhythm and you feel like I've built these relationships.
Right.
You know, like I'm functioning in this relationship and talking this way the same way I do at home. And at home, it's probably not as big of a deal, but you get in that environment, everyone's looking for a reason to stop trusting you.
yeah.
And I think that's the difference. In your day to day, people aren't looking for a reason to stop trusting you. So I'm not listening to every little word you use and every little like sound in your voice.
Right. Yeah.
But you get on Survivor, you're on that island, or Big Brother, or The Challenge, these different like reality competition shows.
Yeah.
And people are really looking for a reason not to trust you. So I think that was kind of TK's demise,
Silly.
which after the first episode, I really liked him. In the second episode, I just don't think he realized how he's coming across. And it's unfortunate because you only get that shot once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
But yeah, he really.
And the girl that tried to steal the rice. That was funny.
Oh, that was
I wish that she got in more trouble. I know that's like maybe
no,
bad.
I actually wish they would have let her keep it just because I thought like that's genius.
Yeah, I wish something would have happened. Either like she got away with it or she got in like way bigger trouble. Also, okay, I
told Kiana I would have been pooping my pants if Jeff Probst was like, "What's in your pocket?"
Oh yeah, that would have been crazy.
And I'd have been standing there like, he's sending me home for sure.
Yeah. I came up, wait, real quick, because I just remembered this. Last night watching the episode, I don't think this is a spoiler, but I came up with an idea. Hopefully Jeff sees this somehow and they give me money. But I came up with an idea that I feel like would be pretty genius for Survivor. If they had an advantage where like, or an immunity idol or something that when you found it, if you took it, that meant your team lost their flint, but you get the advantage. And Jeff were to say like, hey guys, like if it's like the end of a challenge and by that point you found the idol, you've taken it, so that means your team's gonna lose their flint, and he says like, hey guys, like blah blah blah, thanks for the challenge, head back to camp. Blue team, I need you to turn over your flint, and I can't tell you why, but there is one person on your team that knows the reason, and that's it. You know the kind of turmoil that would cause?
That would be crazy.
That's like you don't get your flint, but no one knows why except one person. And that one person is going to have to decide, do I say anything? Do I not say anything? How do I play this?
Yeah. So you're basically saying, okay, there's red, yellow, blue teams. We show up to a challenge. And when we showed up to the challenge, I from the blue team found the idol. And I know that because I found the idol, my team is going to lose our flint like at the next challenge. So even if we finish in the top 2 where we would get to keep our flint for fire making, he would take it.
Yeah.
And he would also be announcing that to all the teams at once.
Yeah, and to tell them like someone on your team knows why this flint is getting taken. That would stir up so much.
That really would.
I feel like that was a genius idea.
I completely agree with you. Wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
Whoa. That would be wild.
Yeah. Jeff?
Man, no, actually, listen, Jeff Probst.
CBS? Are you listening?
I mean, please. Just hear this out. Find a way for the mechanics of the game to make that work. That is actually crazy.
I don't feel like it'd be that hard.
No, I don't think it'd be hard. But
they already do stuff
obviously,
like not that different.
I just think they obviously have things that they think
for
through,
sure,
and they don't want to like. Maybe they wouldn't want to announce it in front of other tribes because then all the other tribes are going to be on this high alert of like, how do we do that and blah blah blah.
Yeah, so, that's true. Yeah.
And then if blue team loses, choking. If blue team loses. They lose their flint from losing, not losing their flint from someone finding an immunity idol. So then would you have to announce that somehow? Or like if you
use the immunity idol, do they get their flint back? Anyway, whatever.
Interesting.
Thought that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I like the idea. I like the creativity. Could be fun.
Yeah.
Anyways. Okay, life update.
Yeah, big life updates, both of us.
Yeah.
Do you want to start? Or do you want
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Dope. So yeah, Kiana has been pregnant for 9-ish months, and then surprise, surprise, she had a baby, and
you're right there.
I'm like, I feel like short of breath because I'm like choking. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
But it sounds like I'm getting choked up emotionally about the birth of my child, which really makes me sound like a more loving father.
But you're not. I'm just kidding.
Rough.
Just kidding. You're a great dad.
But yeah, so Oliver John Rickard is our new baby boy.
So cute.
Yeah, he's great. He is great.
So tiny.
Yeah. Oh, he's so small.
I can't get. There's a video of Jude at the hospital. I've watched it like 50 times of him, like when he's up at the bed, he goes, "He's a so little," and like the way that Jude says it makes me want to cry every time. It's so cute, but he's right. Because Oliver's so tiny.
Yeah. Yeah. He's so yeah, Kiana's doing great. She progressed through labor way quicker than with our first two. And then her recovery has been like, we've been going on walks every morning. That's like a mile plus, a mile and a half or whatever it is. And like, we've been doing that every morning. She had the baby on a Tuesday night a couple weeks ago. She had the baby on a Tuesday night, and Friday morning we went on a walk that was like a mile and a half or whatever. And we've done it every day.
That's amazing.
I think every day, pretty much every day.
Yeah, she's a freaking powerhouse.
Yeah, her recovery's just been like absurd.
Yeah.
Absurd. So
that's amazing.
I think like in a good way. It's so cool. So and after the first 20 weeks of the pregnancy were literally like hell for her. She was so sick and could barely get out of bed, and life was super wacky for those like 4.5, 5 months. So it's just like really cool. Oliver's healthy and stuff. So yeah, it's really awesome. I have a funny story.
Yeah, you had a story you hadn't told me yet.
So I told this story. I told the story this morning at our staff meeting.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was cracking up pretty good. So I'm not trying to tell it the same way, but that was my practice. Yeah. My run through. But
we'll see how this does before we hit it with the podcast.
So basically, that day it was a Tuesday, and I actually was working. I had gone into work, and don't ask me why. I just remember thinking like, I really want to get my hair cut before the baby's born, because it's going to be tough for me to get a haircut within the 2 weeks after the baby's born when I'm at home, and Kiana's not going to want me to leave the house to do that. And and so I really need to get my haircut. For whatever reason, I scheduled it for a Tuesday at 11:30, like in the middle of my work day. Now I work so many hours, like it doesn't matter because
like flex it a little.
Well, a different day I would just stay an hour later or 2 hours later, like I always do, and it doesn't matter probably. But yeah, I scheduled it for a Tuesday at 11:30. I actually had a meeting at 11:30 or 11 maybe on Tuesday. So the funny thing is, Kiana calls me at 10:15 or whatever it is, and it's like, hey, like I was just at my appointment. They want me to go in and see if they want to induce me today, or if we're good to keep waiting. So whatever, we go to the hospital, we're there, and pretty quickly we find out like, yeah, we want to induce you today. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, like we're getting induced, like we're meeting this baby. I mean, within the next day or two or whatever, right? So, but we're going to be at the hospital until the baby's born. So we're in Rochester and we're at the hospital, and the barber that I go to, or the barber shop or whatever you call it, the hair place, salon. Thank you. It's like a barber shop, but then it's a girl that cuts my hair. And when I think of a barber shop, I always think of dudes only. I don't know, whatever. Okay, the hair place. Yeah. So shout out Courtney, does a great job with my hair. But we're at the hospital. The hair place is 2 minutes away, 3 minutes away down the street, and my appointment's for 11:30, and we're here and it's 10:30, and they're like, we're gonna induce you, but it'll be a while before we get it started. And I'm like, Kiana, I'm just gonna call and cancel my hair appointment. She's like, no, just go. And I was like, Kiana, you're about to be in labor. You're about to be induced. Like, I'm not going to get my hair cut. Yeah. She's like, I'm not going. I'm just going to call and cancel. It's no big deal. But you can't no call, no show. They'll drop you as a client. Whoa. Busy place. And so I was like, elite. I know. The prices are elite too. You know what I'm saying? But so basically, she's like, just go. Just get your hair cut. It's fine. Like, I know you really want it cut. I know you don't want to wait a really long time, weeks from now. Like, just go get it cut. And I was like, are you sure? And she's like, just go. It's fine. It's fine. You'll be back soon. It's no big deal. I might not even be started with the induction by the time you get back. Yeah. And it's literally a 3-minute drive down the road from there. It just so happened. So I go and I get my hair cut. I come back and the haircut took a little longer than I thought it would, but it's like an hour tops or 45 minutes, whatever it was. Yeah. I'm coming back into the building and like I see
the hospital?
Yeah, it's into the hospital, and I see a nurse. Actually, I think it was okay, so I see a nurse, and the nurse looks at me and she goes, a nice haircut. And I thought to myself, like, oh, that's funny. Like maybe she saw me as I was walking out. Maybe she really observed in person. She saw that like I had longer hair, and then I came back, you know, an hour later and I have shorter hair. Like looks nice. I was like, hey, thank you. And she like smiled and, you know, just like a little giggle or whatever, like normal, just like a normal interaction.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's nice. So I get up to the second floor and start to walk into like the labor and delivery area to get to the room. And this nurse like in there was like, hey, nice haircut. And I was like, what's going on right now?
What the heck?
So like, thank you.
You still like, you have like scissors in your head or something?
I was like, thank you. I was like, man, that's weird.
Yeah.
Kept walking, get into the room. And I was like, yeah, it's like two people have already told me like they like nice haircut. Like, I don't know what our midwife comes into the room and the midwife is like, hey, nice haircut.
What
cool
the heck?
And I was like, okay, what the frick is going on?
So
like,
at this point, it's not a compliment.
Yeah. And you know what? And that was when I realized, I'm like, you know what these people are doing? The whole friggin' staff of nurses and midwives at this hospital is clowning the guy while I'm
Just
gone.
left his
They're
wife.
clowning the guy that's like, this guy is leaving his wife who's about to be in labor to go get a friggin' haircut. And I can tell now the reason they're saying nice haircut, cool haircut, hey, cool haircut, nice, looks good, you know, and they're like making it look, is because they are trying to absolutely clown me.
That's hilarious.
No, I know. It ended up being 5 different nurses or midwives total. 5 different hospital employees that said something to me about, hey, how'd the haircut go? Or nice haircut.
Did you
hey,
tell
cool
them you should
haircut.
just start like my wife told me to go?
No, because at that point I was just like, bruh, I'm like annoyed with all of you people. Not actually, but like a little bit.
Wait,
So
that's
like,
so
yo,
funny.
it doesn't even matter. I got my haircut. What of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, do you want to feel it? It's a great fade. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man, stop clowning me for this
That's
right
so
now.
funny.
It was just like, it's just like, I was just picturing them all in this room. Like, can you believe this, dude? Like
Yeah.
after I left or.
Oh, haircut guy's back.
Yeah, because I think I asked Kiana, I was like, did you tell someone I was going to get a haircut? And they're like, yeah. She said, yeah, one of the nurses or maybe the midwife was in here. And I mentioned that like my husband went to go get his haircut down the street really quick. And I was like, oh, you sold me down the river. It's like, absolutely. I'm getting lambasted by the whole hospital staff. They think I'm a freaking deadbeat father and husband because I just simply didn't want to have ratty hair 3 weeks from now. It's not that big a deal.
Oh, that's
And you want to know
hilarious.
what? When I walked into the room, like when I got back from the haircut and I walked into the room, as I walked through the door, that's when the induction started. I missed nothing. I missed absolutely nothing.
That's crazy.
I'm getting clowned by a whole staff.
That is hilarious.
The whole hospital is like that frick on the second floor went and got his haircut and abandoned his wife. So whatever,
That's
bro.
so funny.
It was trash.
No, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Feeling some type of way, bro. I don't know if I'm ever going to get my haircut again.
You definitely are.
No, I
Kiana
don't,
has anything to
I
say
don't-
about it.
I don't think I'm ever going to get my haircut again. I think I've been ridiculed enough. And I think if I go get another haircut, people are really just going to be like, dude, this guy only cares about himself.
I mean, Kiana told you to do it.
That's what I said. I'm like, honey, you told me to. And she's like, yeah, it was fine. You missed nothing.
That's
I knew
so
that. I knew
funny.
that you would miss nothing. It's not a big deal.
Did she think it was
And
funny
the
that the
baby
people were-
wasn't born. Kiana didn't start being in pain with contractions for an hour after I was back, and the baby wasn't born until almost 10 o'clock p.m. that night. And this was literally like 11 hours earlier, 12 or 10 hours earlier, whatever. Like I missed nothing.
That's hilarious.
Man,
I love it.
people just want to find something to judge. People just have
Fun
opinions.
with you. They're having fun with you.
No, I wasn't having fun the way they were talking to me at
Well,
all.
Yeah.
I'm
but
joking. I'm
is
playing
funny.
it up, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think after the second one, I was like, I wonder if.
Don't you think you'd
nah.
rather have the attention than no attention at all? Your personality.
Man, that was a really savage thing to say, but no, you're,
No, but-
you're probably right.
Like, now you have a story.
Yeah, no, I do love to have a good story.
Oh my gosh.
I do love a good story to tell, so yeah, I agree. You good?
I think so. Ugh.
Them lashes you gotta watch out for. They'll
It's
make
just
you
my
go blind.
eyelashes.
They'll make you go blind.
You got them too.
You know, I gotta watch out for mine too. They make me go blind. Nah, I'm just
There's
kidding.
actually something still in there.
Uh-oh.
Anyway.
Is it sand? Do you think it's sand?
From where?
I don't know. Anakin doesn't like sand very much.
Yeah, well, we live in Metro
It gets
Detroit.
everywhere.
I guess there is Metro Beach, but that's far away.
Okay.
Anyway.
Is it a fly?
I think I got it.
All right. Congrats.
Welcome
back to 2020 Vision.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's your life update? I guess mine's done.
Yeah.
Oliver's,
I have a
Oliver's
question for
cute
you.
and all that.
Wait, I just have a quick follow-up question.
Okay, yeah.
Update. Obviously, this is your third kid, so it's not like I'm sure this would be easier to answer from your first kid because it was a big change.
Yeah.
To go from married with no kids to married with a kid. But
okay.
Do you feel like every time you've had a kid, like, has it changed the way that you see Kiana? Like, in a good way, I'm assuming. But, like, or has it changed your guys' marriage?
If anything exists as far as, like, how I see Kiana, I think it's just, you just see more and more, like I just see more and more how, like, capable she is. And just, not that I ever have thought, you're not very capable.
No, yeah.
like
but
I've never
you're
thought
watching
that.
it happen. So.
Yeah, I think you're just in, like, and, like, she has great instincts. And, I mean, it's phenomenal, you know?
Yeah.
And she just, I mean, yeah, she's beautiful. And I don't know. We also just, I think, like, the more kids we've had, the more we laugh together. So that's been really fun too. There's just more things happening.
Yeah.
Like Maisie, we were at Costco a couple days ago now. Maisie is grabbing. We're sitting and eating lunch in, like, the Costco, you know, where the tables are.
Delicious.
And Maisie's grabbing tables and, like, you know, she's, like, putting one hand on this table and one hand on this table, and in the aisle she's, like, swinging her body, you know, while holding onto the table.
Yeah.
And no joke, like, she swung her body and her arms, like, somehow she lost her grip, and I'm not kidding. She literally went smack onto the concrete, and her head hit the concrete before, like, her back and the rest of her body. At first, it was a little bit like, oh, and then she gets up, and she goes, that was the best. That was the best. I think the way she said, she was like, the best. That was the best.
The pain on her face.
Like, it was like,
wait, that's hilarious.
It was like, and she's done that before. Like, she gets hurt and she gets up. She's, like, doing something. She gets hurt. She gets up. She's like, that was the best. And she, like, has this look on her face of, like, that was definitely not the best.
Yeah.
And then
I'm going to try and convince myself.
Yeah. And, like, I'm going to convince myself and anybody else here, like, that was absolutely the best and totally worth it. And I'm definitely, like, not regretting that decision based on me getting hurt. It's just so funny. And she, like, has this look on her face that I really can't even replicate. I would try my best, but like, it's this look of, like, I think I've decided not to cry.
Yeah. That's so funny.
The best. That was the best. It's hilarious.
That is so funny.
It was great. That's
awesome.
There was something else that had Kiana and I. We were laying in bed, and Oliver was laying there too, and he was going to sleep at night, and it had something to do with one of the kids, I think, but there was something. I mean, like, I laughed so. I mean, Kiana and I were both in tears laughing, and yeah, just the more kids we've had, the more interactions we have with them and they have with each other. Yeah. And the more you hear from the other room, or they say to your face, or they fall on the floor, you know, the best. And it's like, as these things happen, it's just freaking hilarious. So I think what it does for marriage, in my experience, is just you have so many more moments and experiences that are like these, just, I don't know. They're just massive bonding moments. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we got past the pigs.
Oh,
and we've been teaching Maisie and Jude
from our childhood. Oh my gosh,
we've been teaching Maisie and Jude past the pigs. So
I need to get that game.
they like, one of them will land on the table and it's like, I trotter 5 points.
They're so animated.
Yeah, they're crazy, but it's fun.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah, I guess that answers
so
your
much
question
fun. Yeah.
for the most part.
No, it does. That's
Dope.
awesome. Speaking of
Massive news.
got engaged.
Let's go.
Crazy.
Come on.
So much fun.
Let's go.
Yeah. I'm absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah. That's very exciting.
It's so much fun.
Come on. So
Going to be married.
tell us a little bit about how the engagement went down, the proposal went down, and all that.
Yeah. There's a little buzz going on.
There's a little buzz going on.
I don't know where it's from, but I don't like it. Caden had told me, we talked about getting married the day we started dating, just because we're both like, we'd never dated anybody before, either of us, because we both have just felt like I just want to marry the person that I'm going to choose to date. And I don't really see why I'd need to date anybody else. But also, I don't know. Anyway, that could go into a whole nother thing. I've just always felt like I would only end up dating one person and I'd marry them. And I did. Or am going to. And
it's not a done deal yet. No,
but
I'm just kidding.
So we hadn't, it wasn't something we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
We talked about it pretty early on. And then, especially once we moved, both were back in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
It became a lot more of a conversation of like, okay, when do we want to get married type of deal.
Yeah.
And pretty quickly he said like, I'm going to propose like fall-ish, sometime around fall, by fall. Like he kept it vague so that I didn't like really know. But the whole answer was kind of like fall.
Yeah.
So I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I just didn't really know when. And I did not necessarily. So Kaden and I said probably like beginning, middle of August, we were like, oh, you should. This is to Kaden. We were like, you should plan a few dates to where I don't know what we're doing and I'm not planning it. So then when you try and plan the proposal, it's not like way out of the norm.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's easier to hide or
Oh,
whatever.
nice.
So we were like, okay, let's do it on the 18th of September. That'll be the first one or whatever that Kaden will plan that day. And I definitely thought like it's a possibility, but I didn't think he would actually do it that day because the first one of those.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, whatever.
Genius move by him.
Yeah, it was pretty genius.
You just got to come out of the gate firing or else it's going to be
literally
more difficult.
So I was like, oh, I don't know. But I kind of knew the date was coming up. And then it was maybe like a day or two before he was like, oh, okay, I think I know what we're going to do. I don't think I want to tell you though. And I was like, okay. And I still thought like, that could be something. But also with Kaden, that could mean like nothing out of the norm.
Right.
And so then it was like the day before he's leaving our house and he was like, I think probably like wear something like kind of nice. And I was like jeans and a shirt, like a dress. He's like, probably leaning more towards dress. I was like, okay. And still, that could be nothing because like we've gone on a few dates where we've like dressed up pretty nice.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that might just be the norm. But I was still suspicious for sure.
Yeah.
And then the day of, I woke up just like, I don't know. Like, this is interesting. And our friend Bella, who has said like, she's told Kaden, like, you have to tell me when it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have to know and blah, blah. And he knew that. I was asking her that day, like, hey, like, what do you think I should wear? Blah, 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 whatever. Because I kind of feel like it might happen tonight. And she was doing a great job. I've since told her this, so she hears this. She knows that I've already said this to her. But her responses the whole day were like so careful that it was like the other extreme was throwing me off.
It's like too careful.
Yeah, I was like, you're not responding the way you normally would because I think you're trying so hard not to say anything that would throw me off. So I'm going to take this as something might be happening.
That's wild.
And so that kind of was funny. And then Kaden just wasn't like, we weren't interacting a lot throughout the day. Usually like I'll hear from him a few times while he's at work. And it was pretty minimal. So I was like, that's funny too. And he picked me up and we went downtown Detroit. We got in the car. I still didn't know where we were going. But I figured we were going downtown Detroit because that's kind of like where we usually end up.
Yeah.
For stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
it's a beautiful city.
Yeah, it's great.
If you don't know that, you're missing out.
We were the drive, like GPS and stuff, just based on how long everything was. I was like, oh yeah, we're going downtown.
Yeah.
So we went downtown and he's like, okay, like we parked. He gave me a disposable film camera and was like, oh, you have to use this before the end of the night. I was like, oh, okay, cute. And he was like, obviously not every date will be like this, but at least just for the first one. And I think that was his way of trying to throw me off. But I was like, okay, maybe it's not happening tonight. But I was like, interesting. Oh, I forgot a detail. Okay. Earlier in the day, right before he came to pick me up, he Snapchatted me and he was wearing a very specific shirt. And I have never said this to him, but in my head, I was with him when he bought the shirt he was wearing. And in my head, I always thought like, oh, I feel like that's the shirt he would wear when he proposes. And I never said that though.
You sound like LeBron James right now. It's like, I knew that guy was going to be good. I knew he was going to have a great game. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
It was like, I couldn't explain it, but that was the reason I knew.
That's funny.
I saw the picture and legit, like this sounds so stupid, but like I felt it in my gut. Like physically, I was like, it's happening.
In the gut.
I literally was like, it's happening.
Yeah.
Like I'm right. It's happening because of this shirt. So
that's
then
hilarious.
He picked me up. We go downtown. He gives me the disposable. I'm like, okay.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I don't know what's happening. And then he was like, yeah, we can like walk around for a bit. We have a reservation somewhere at 7. We got there at like 6:15. So we had like 45 minutes to walk around.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes us a minute to get to where we're going, blah, blah, blah. We go through H&M on Woodward, downtown Detroit. Like there's some like nicer stores down there.
Yep.
We're like going around, whatever. And it's very normal. Like we're having normal conversation about normal things. And I'm like, okay. And then like, but as we're walking, I've just noticed he was walking very fast. And that's not typical for him. Like usually we're very like leisurely. So I was like, oh, weird. Like you are sprinting right now.
It's crazy the way that your brain was all day and during the date trying to analyze everything.
That's how I am
just
about everything.
Yeah,
though.
it's just ridiculous.
That's just like how I operate.
How about you stop analyzing everything?
I was trying not to.
I'm just kidding.
I so badly wanted to be surprised. And I still kind of was. But like I also was like, I can't turn off this part of my brain.
Yeah, I get it.
So
I mean, I don't get it, but I get it.
Yeah, I know. But he's walking super fast. So I'm like you're like sprinting. And he's like, oh, sorry. Like trying to play it off. And I'm like, why are you walking so fast? So then we get out of H&M. He's like, okay, like, why don't we just like go walk down by the water? I'm like, okay. And in my head, I'm like, it's like 6:30 at this point. Our reservation's at 7, but I don't know where the reservation is. Like I have some guesses.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know where it is. So maybe it's really close to the water, whatever. So we're walking towards the water. I mean, like I'm sweating. We're walking so fast. and I'm like literally like behind Caden because he is going so quickly. I'm like, why are you like running right now? And I said to him at one point, I was like, hey, like our reservation's at 7? He's like, yeah. I'm like, it's almost 6:45. And I'm like, you would not be like this if this was normal. At this point, I was like, okay, if it doesn't happen, I'll be shocked. But like, I'm pretty sure because we're going the opposite direction of where I'm pretty sure we're going to end up. And we're 15 minutes away from the reservation. Yeah. And it's going to be at least a 15-minute walk. So like, I'm just like, this is not adding up. Yeah. And he's not usually like that. So I was like, this is weird. But we walk down by the river. We're standing by the river. He just like kind of stops us at this like spot. He's like, oh, like, let's just stand here for a second. So I'm like, okay. If this isn't it, I'm an idiot. But like, I'm pretty sure. And we're just like standing there for a minute. And I'm just trying to like distract myself to not be weird. So I'm just taking pictures with the disposable camera, like, oh, the water, the skyline, the bridge, the ferry's right there, a bunch of stuff. And then like I pull the camera down and he's like pulling the ring out and is on one knee. Wait, did I already tell you this? I don't remember if I did, but
a little bit, but not the full story. Yeah.
Yeah. He also had the ring tucked into his sock, in his socks, and I didn't notice.
Like not inside of a case.
No, it was.
Oh,
the whole case was not just a ring like loose in his sock. That would be funny.
That'd be hilarious.
No. The whole ring box was in his sock.
That makes sense.
And he was pulling the ring box out of his sock, and I was like, he's on one knee, and I just was like, "What are you doing?"
You said that
because I knew, but I was like in shock.
Yeah, it's
and
like you're trying.
I like looked and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's just like, "It's happening right now." And I like fully turned. I was like, "No, it's not." He was like, "Yes, it is." I was like,
It's happening
What?
right now.
And-
Yes, it is.
and like, it was so stupid because it's like, I kind of knew, but at the same time, I was still like, no, it's not. Like, that's crazy. But I knew
Right.
at the same time. Like, it
Yeah.
was just funny. And then, yeah, he proposed and like said some stuff. And I think I said yes. Like, I actually don't even know. I think I just was like, yeah, oh my gosh. Or
Yeah,
something.
100%.
And then, yeah, like stood there for a little bit. And some people like went by and were like, congratulations. And Kane's like, thank you. And then it was like maybe a minute. And he was like, no, but like our reservation is at 7. So like we do have to go right now. And like it was probably like 6:50, 6:55. It was like a 15-minute walk.
You guys freaking jogged
No,
to the restaurant.
literally. I'm like, call them because we're going to be like 10 minutes late.
That's unreal.
And it was like this nicer French restaurant downtown we've been to before called Le Supreme, which it's so good.
Dang.
So good. So we went there.
Nice.
Super fun. It was just so fun to like debrief like
Yeah.
everything that happened. And Caden had like recorded a bunch of videos of him through the whole process of like, okay, like today I'm going to go pick up the ring and blah,
Oh,
blah, blah.
dope.
It was so fun. And so then
Wait,
like,
I want to see like an
there was
edit.
probably like at least like 10 minutes worth of videos.
I want to see an edit.
It was so fun to watch later to like, I got to see like
Is
his
it
whole
like
process.
is it like a thing? It's like, man, you probably shouldn't show other people. It's just for you.
I mean, it's not like weird or anything
No,
like that.
no, yeah.
It was like sweet that I think I'm the only one that's seen them, but
Lame.
like
I'm just
I
kidding.
don't think they need to be like reserved or anything.
You're not gonna
like
put them
that.
in a vault.
No, I don't think so.
You-
I
but-
don't even have the Caden has them, but he showed them all to me that night.
I
and
just
it was
want to
really
see.
sweet.
I would love to see Caden filming videos of like the thought process
He's
and what
just
he's
like
doing
in
throughout.
the car and it's like recording. He's like, so I want to pay the ring. I'm gonna and then I'm gonna and hopefully I'll propose on and I'm like that's exactly how he talks. And he's like, and boom bop bang, then we'll be engaged. And like and that's just how it is. But it was really sweet.
That's great.
So it was like cool to see his whole little like process, and then he like told me everybody that already knew, and
Yeah,
like when
it's
he
fun.
like told you, and I was like, I thought you might have told him then, and blah blah blah, just like funny things like
Yeah,
that. And
that's legit.
yeah. So and yeah, like left the restaurant and called a bunch of people, and then we were gonna go get Dairy Queen, and it was close, so we went to Meijer and got ice cream.
Hey,
and
let's
then,
go.
Came back here.
Should you buy
and
cones?
no, it was like the Traverse City like fudge cherry one.
Well,
It's really good, but
except for you ate it in a bowl.
yeah,
That's
but
not
it
the
was
same.
actually I didn't even think we ate it that night because we just forgot. But
Wow.
we ate it the next night.
There you go.
So yeah, it was super fun. And since then, just very like preliminary wedding planning stuff.
Yeah.
But
Let's go.
super exciting. Like we already
Congrats.
have a venue, we already have a date, we already know like kind of all of the details. We just got to like make them happen now.
Come on.
So
That's gonna be
super
a fun.
Trying
That's gonna be
to
a
figure
fun
out
week.
buying a house.
Here's a
So
crazy
many
thing
things.
that I'm like just. It's gonna be wild. There's gonna be so many of us from here going out to Wisconsin
Oh yeah.
for this wedding.
Yep.
And so many people from our church, including so many people from our staff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was thinking about, I was like, as silly as it is, because it doesn't actually matter. I was like,
Mhm.
who's going to be running church that
Well,
weekend?
we thought about that
Oh, really?
because yeah, we're going to get married on a Friday.
Oh, genius.
So then everybody that
Wow,
has to
look
be there
at
for
you.
church can have Saturday to get back.
Wow. Look
Yeah.
at that.
And everything's cheaper on a Friday anyway. So.
Yeah, that's fair. But also, I'm just saying, that was
I
really,
mean, like-
that's very considerate. Also,
The fact that 4 people between the 2 of our immediate families work at the church was like,
Yeah,
yeah, we
yeah.
kind of have to make it so that it's easy for everybody to get back.
4 people. Got
You,
it. Yeah.
my
Yep.
mom,
Yep.
Kaden's parents.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, who are the 4? Nah, for real though. Yeah, that's interesting. That's what I was wondering. I was like, man, there's gonna be I mean, like even just thinking about like Pastor Jerry and Joy.
Yeah,
Like,
literally like so many people.
right. Like I was
Yeah.
thinking to myself, like, who's gonna be doing
But at the same time, Kate and
this
I like
wedding,
don't want
or
a
the
ton of people there.
Yeah. I get it.
We already made our whole guest list and it's like 200 people.
Yeah, that was about
And
the
then
size
like
of Keanu and I's.
seven, they say like 75% of the people you invite come, and then probably a little bit less because it's not in Michigan.
Yeah.
But then like all of Caden's family has to travel anyway because none of them
Yep.
live here. So it's like
Yep.
most people were going to have to travel one way or another besides like our church people and some of our immediate family.
Yeah.
So we were like, it's free if we get married in Wisconsin. So
Yeah. Let's
and
go.
wedding venues nowadays, it's like
Oh, it's crazy.
$15,000
That's
just to
nuts.
start for the
Right.
venue alone.
What is
We're
it?
like
What even is that?
planning on spending less than $15,000 for our whole wedding.
Yeah,
So,
that's crazy. Wow.
but yeah,
Good stuff.
crazy.
Come on.
And it was
Congratulations,
like such a
Jay.
wild week because it was literally like Oliver was born. The
On
next
Tuesday.
day, Caden proposed.
And then you were engaged on Wednesday.
The day after that is our wedding date next year.
Oh, right.
So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
next year will be so fun because Oliver will literally be one like right before.
2 days before the wedding.
Yeah.
So your wedding is going to be on September 19th.
Yeah.
All right. Wild. Come on.
So much fun.
Let's go.
I'm trying to think of like little small life updates because I feel like there was other things, but
I mean, you've gone to multiple Tigers games, and the Tigers are just insane.
I've gone to 2 Tigers games when they won, and one of the games was the game that got them into the playoffs.
When they clinched, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
So much fun. The atmosphere, the vibe has not been that high since we went to the Cubs game in like 2018.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Just baseball
Like
in
for
general.
me,
Yeah,
the baseball vibe
yeah.
hasn't been so high at
Right.
the stadium since the last Cubs game we went to.
Yeah.
And so that was super fun.
Yeah.
And then
That's wild.
yeah.
Dang. No, I
bunch of
think
stuff's happening.
yeah, the Tigers are on a friggin' tear, and now they just swept the Astros in the wild card division, ALDS.
I'm so excited.
absolutely absurd. The Lions are balling out right now. They look like
Yeah.
they're gonna run over most of the teams on their schedule, and they're gonna end up going deep playoff.
It's a good time to be a
crazy.
Michigander.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
To be a fan.
I mean, Michigan football is kind of bad right now, or they're not as good for sure. But they won a national championship like less than a year ago. Very ecstatic about that. I mean, it is a good time to be a fan of the teams in this area.
Yeah.
I will say when it comes to baseball, I am a Cubs fan first and a Tigers fan second. But as
they're
long
not
as
playing each other, so.
as long as they don't interfere with one another, I'm always rooting for the success of the Detroit Tigers as long as it's not at the expense of the Chicago Cubs. So
right, exactly.
I'm very excited for the Tigers. I'm excited for diehard Tigers fans. It's very exciting to be in the city right now. It's pretty wild.
I definitely that's
around the
I
city.
need to get a Tigers sweatshirt. That's like I have the Cubs gear.
Yeah.
I mean Lions I could get Lions stuff, but it's not as important. But like the Tigers are doing so well right now, it feels like wrong to not own something Tigers.
I think that is also true for the Lions, especially because the Lions have been so bad for so long. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just fun in general.
Oh, that's the life update. It's fall. You're in your brown tracksuit. I've got my hooves on.
Your hooves. That's wild.
That's what people call them. They're not the real ones. I didn't want to pay a stupid ton of money for the real ones.
I'm not going to lie to you. If they were the real ones, I wouldn't know what they're the real ones of.
Kiana has them. Your wife
Congrats.
owns them.
Yeah.
Your wife owns them.
My wife owns them?
Your wife.
No, but I don't. Just because she owns
fall.
it doesn't mean I know
Do you like
anything
my
about it. Yeah, your sweater's
sweater?
dope. Oh, is it whales? Sharks?
They're
Fish.
fish.
Yeah, I mean the whales are fish,
Like,
right? That's crazy.
It's fall.
It's fall. It is fall.
I got all the fall decorations.
Fall.
You decorate for Christmas like this month.
Yeah, we always put up our Christmas tree on Halloween.
I feel like that's gonna cause a stir. People are gonna have a bone to pick with that one, but I love it. I love that tradition.
Yeah, people don't like it, and I get it, but it's just like for our family and what we do, like we really don't lean into Halloween all that much.
I don't lean into Halloween. I lean into fall.
Yeah.
And then as soon as November 1st hits, to me, it's fall and Christmas time.
Yeah, I think there's an overlap there of like starting to celebrate Christmas while it's still fall, while you're still anticipating Thanksgiving and just so like ready to enjoy that. So I'm chilling. But as soon as it hits October 31st and we put that Christmas tree up, like we're playing Christmas music and kids might be outside trick-or-treating, but like we're rocking some Harry Connick Jr. Christmas albums and having a good old time. I can't wait.
I'm so excited. We almost every year, I feel like I come over and we do a Christmas puzzle while we watch movies in the background, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, and Caden will be there with us this time.
Caden.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Ugh.
This guy is going to be my brother-in-law.
Literally the dream. Like,
nah, literally.
And then,
it's crazy.
I mean, I know they'll listen to this eventually, but like, Caden's family, genuinely, I don't need to say this publicly, but
Tell
I'm
us
going
what
to.
you really think. No,
Like, I literally could not dream up a better scenario. Like, I love them all so much. And Josie being now going to be my sister, I've known her since she was going into 6th grade. and like have been close with her. And now she's going to be my family.
Yeah.
Like she will be an aunt to my children and I will be an aunt to her children. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, that is so wild and so much
Yeah.
fun. Like
That's great.
literally the Lord just, he always like, mom would always say to me like, the Lord's, that scripture, like the Lord's going to do abundantly above all that you could ask or think. Like it's going to be so much better than anything you could imagine.
Yeah.
It's like, if it's too good to be true, that's probably God, like blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And it's always like you hear that stuff and you're like, yeah, but like, where am I going to meet them? Where are they going to come from? Blah, blah, blah. Like I have a good imagination. So like, it's hard for me to imagine that God could do something better than what I'm already thinking of because I'm thinking of something really crazy cool.
Exceedingly abundantly
but
beyond.
Like this genuinely is abundantly beyond like what I could have ever dreamed
That's
of.
great. I love that.
And that's so wild. And to like also you and Kiana have had like having a baby in the same week that like I get engaged to somebody that we all love and we love their family. Then like he'll be Oliver's uncle. Like just so many things. I'm wow. The Lord genuinely like,
it's so dope.
Just so good.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's amazing.
It is so crazy.
Yeah. And
literally the dream. Like I feel like one of the most blessed people on the planet.
Yeah, it's really it's a beautiful thing just watching like the things that you, especially in moments where with Oliver, like there was a cyst on his brain. Okay, dope. There's a cyst on his brain. Then his stomach was so small that they were going to have to induce when he was a preemie. Then Kiana's fluids were so low in the womb that they were going to have to induce when he was a preemie. And it's just like thing after thing of they just kept having this bad news. And then cyst was completely healed by God. There's no cyst on his brain anymore. And that disappeared like 8 weeks after they found it on the ultrasound. His stomach is the right size. They didn't have to induce early. Kiana's fluid, actually her womb created more fluid so that everything was fine. And it's just beautiful.
Yeah. The Lord's so good.
Yeah.
Those are our life updates, everybody.
Let's go.
We will see you
next time.
Next Sunday. Woo, 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 woo. Bye.
Bye.